Let's watch it. I'm very curious. What's going on?
Another whistleblower has come forward from Obsidian Entertainment, providing me with some actual screenshots of internal dialogue and conversations from...
Again, this could be fake. This could be fake. I can't see it. You can't have it, like, physically in your hand, and it's not like, you know, you can prove that this is real 100%. So I take it with a grain of salt.
From Matt Hansen. And these screenshots that have been provided to me...
However, I could totally believe this was real because of how they type and stuff.
Completely expose not just the toxic environment of Obsidian Entertainment currently, but how Matt Hansen himself is actively encouraging it and making it worse. What's going on, guys? Welcome to another episode of Smash JT. This is now the third different person associated with Obsidian Entertainment reaching out to me. Like, a one-off would be like, oh, wow, okay, we got a whistleblower here.
Yeah, but how do you know that's actually them and, like, without, I don't know, ID or stuff? Like, I'm just saying, like, yes, leaks are real, but...
This is becoming, like, almost a daily trend where someone who works at Obsidian has had enough of the BS that they've been shoving down everyone's throat, and they want change to happen. JT.
Oh no. Oh no. Fuck. Hold on. Stand by. Stand by. Stand by. Stand by. No, it's not. It's not. It's not my SP. It's just YouTube being YouTube. It's just YouTube being YouTube. Hold on. There we go. Okay. Yeah, I have to turn off my VPN.
Subscribe, give me a like, and check out SmashJT.com for the full and extremely exhaustive article going through not just these screenshots, but additional information I've been told from other whistleblowers about Matt Hansen and his job security situation going on at Obsidian right now, because this is getting insane. A whistleblower with internal information from Obsidian Entertainment has come forward with shocking screenshots and Slack messages from Matt Hansen, completely exposing the company's internal toxic culture. This brave individual reached out to me with a burner email to protect their identity, fearing that, once again, of course, severe backlash for daring to expose the truth would soon follow if their name got out there. And it's a trend we're seeing not just at Obsidian Entertainment, but the video game industry at large has turned into this cult-like mentality of blackballing anybody who dares speak out against the ideology.
And that's why you can't have critics and people who disagree with your video games in video games now. No, you're going against the ideology that we all believe in. You're a piece of shit. You should have everyone from every side working on a video game. Sorry. If I went to my old job and I had to listen to the same people, like, talking over and over and having the same, like, ideas, I would get bored, personally. I like being challenged. If it's polite and nobody's calling each other names, nobody's calling each other fucking stupid and dumb for having those ideas, within reason. You can call each other stupid, like, jokingly, sure. But, like, again, you should be able to challenge one another.
The message. The information they've shared with me is honestly pretty troubling, not just for Matt Hansen, but the entire environment that's been created over the past few years at Obsidian Entertainment. And it paints a very grim picture of what life is like now at one time, one of the industry's most beloved game development studios. As with all my coverage with the video game industry, this insight I'm providing in this video is for informational purposes only.
It's hard to believe Obsidian made Fallout New Vegas in like 2 years. It's unbelievable that a game studio made it in 2 years, and now they're making not so good video games.
Please do not reach out, contact, or in any way, shape, or form harass any of the people I'm going to be naming in this video. The best way for us to fight back against the broken ideology is to simply shine a light on it and let nature run its course naturally on this. It's the only way, it's the best way, it's the right way. I've been sent a series of Slack messages from Obsidian's internal communications revealing a hostile and very toxic work environment led by none other.
I don't think it's hostile. I think it's just passive aggressive and childish. Again, hostile would be like them calling each other names. They're all just like shit talking and being cringe, and then it's in a professional work environment too. I don't know. Like, again, in private DMs, if it's in your Discord DMs with a friend and you're shit talking someone, I think that's not that bad because it's your own private little world. It's like I don't think people should get into trouble for that. If it's in a corporate environment, then it's a different story because everybody else in your work has to deal with you being fucking passive aggressive and being an asshole.
Then Matt Hansen, Obsidian's art director, someone who I've talked about in great detail in multiple videos previously. He oversees many employees at Obsidian and by all accounts fostered an awful atmosphere where ideological conformity is not just encouraged, but demanded. And if you step out of line or dare question it, you're the next person on the chopping block. The internal Slack...
It's not even chopping block in that sense either. In environments like this, if you don't contribute to it, people notice and they start getting mad at you too. Like, if the guy that's screenshotting, I don't know who it is, if it's a real screenshot, let's just assume it is for a second. If the person that's taking the screenshot isn't one of the people that's contributing, they start sensing that. They're like, wait, so Alex hasn't said anything in like a couple of messages. Does this make you feel uncomfortable, dude? Like, what's going on? Are you all right? It's like, maybe I just don't want to contribute because you're being cringe? Like...
Messages reveal a disturbing trend of certain employees at Obsidian banding together to ridicule and berate not just Elon Musk, but also going at Grums on Twitter. These people have Grums derangement syndrome and Musk derangement syndrome. They cannot stand people on the other side of their...
It's like the same people that make Reddit posts about me. If I don't make Reddit posts about you and your opinions because I just make YouTube videos and I post it. I don't think about it past that. These people make daily posts. They start thinking about these people. They're like, fuck this person. They don't agree with me. I don't like them. And I'm still thinking about them while I'm eating lunch. I see a text message from the Slack that's talking about like Grums. It's like, bro, like, chill, dude. It's supposed to be your job. You're supposed to just play video games and make video games. Like,
ideologies. And with some of the things that are said here publicly on the Slack internally at Obsidian is pretty sketch. Schwa Alvarez shared the photo that many people have already seen where Elon Musk was pointing out how pronouns were in this role-playing game and how pronouns have no place in role-playing. And instead of them talking about this and trying to maybe put their heads together and reevaluate what the gamers want, they are celebrating it internally on their Slack channel, where Schwa Alvarez says, "We've done it!" Clapping, 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 sharing the image of Elon Musk pointing out how there's pronouns, and then Schwa follows it up with, "Let me know if this is too political and I'll delete it." Just thought it was funny, getting a shout out from the man himself. And honestly, taking...
Again, if they made a good game, nobody would be talking about it, man. Nobody would be shit-talking your game. I don't know if the game is going to be good or not. I want to see it for myself. But when there's smoke, there's fire, man. Baldur's Gate 3 didn't have pronouns. Not that I remember. I didn't have to go into the selector and do that. It's a fantasy game, sure, but like, does it really matter? Kind of doubt it.
Step back here. Sure, it was out of line to share this, but at least Schwa was like, hey, if this is too political, I'll take it off the Slack, because honestly, they realized...
That's pussy shit, by the way. It's too political! I brought a person that's political making fun of our game! Is it too political, you guys? You pussy, stand by what you said, man. Just post it because it's funny. If you find it that funny, you shouldn't have to apologize and, like, I don't know, some pussy shit.
Be unprofessional to share this and talk like this. They're just trying to own the chuds and can't help but celebrate it. But this goes to the toxic culture that's been created there, because Justin Bull replies with, "This is a badge of honor. We did well." And everybody's celebrating it with emojis and replying. And you notice a trend with all of these people I'm sharing, for the most part, include pronouns after their name. It's pretty curious that the odds of all these people have pronouns and they just happen to all work together. Or have they cultivated this environment making sure that people have gotten through the process? And that's one of the steps you have to pass. You share pronouns.
If someone doesn't want to put pronouns in their profile, they should have the right to do so. I genuinely, from the bottom of my heart, if you want to put pronouns in your Twitter, like, that's on you, man. But if you are forcing me in a work environment to, like, do this, because it appears, again, this is alleged screenshots, I don't know if they're real or not, but it seems like everybody has them at the end of their name, which I find so disturbing. What if you don't want to?
And then you're accepted into this cult. Daniel Chamberlain replied with, "I've never been more proud." And Jay Turner said, "Hey everyone, pack it up. We lost Grums."
Oh, well, this guy doesn't have it. Okay, good for him. That's illegal to do here as an employer? What, like force pronouns or something? I have no idea. I know you're from Europe.
Think about this for a second. This is an internal Slack conversation. And this is what these people think about. Instead of focusing on making a great game, they're looking at how do we take down Elon Musk and own the chuds and make Grums look bad. And, like, this is how they're approaching their work?
Please make a good video game. Again, this would be really funny if after all of this, Avowed turned out to be a half decent game, like a 6 or 7 out of 10. It has like decent writing and like the gameplay isn't like complete dog shit. That's like a W, right? But if you spend your time doing this instead of, you know, making the video game or like talking about the video game rather than talking about Elon Musk and owning the chunks.
Where did we go wrong? Penelope Rosenberg said, "LOL, this was literally my suggestion bug to add pronouns to the menu. I do this." And then followed it up with, "I kept forgetting what pronouns we picked for our QA saves and wanted to make sure our gendered dialogue was picking the right pronouns." Which, coming from someone who was a former QA tester, I can speak to this and say, okay, I might be able to understand and grasp at that stage of the game. But keeping them in after you've done all the QA goes to show that you really don't need the pronouns in there. It was something for the testing, potentially required, but putting them in and leaving them there is just giving people who don't want them a giant FU. Olivia Burkhead shared the photo of triggering conservative snowflakes is so hot right now. And Matt Hansen comes in.
Again, I don't think From Software has Slack Discord meetings where they post memes about owning the libs or the chuds, the right-wingers. I just don't think that happens, genuinely. They just make good games and they probably talk about the game. I'm sorry, I would eat my own words if that was true, but it's just... I just have a feeling that they don't do that.
And you would think this is when a leader at a company would say, all right, guys, you know, having some fun, okay.
Yeah,
Let's
bring
it back to work. Let's focus back on what we're doing here. We had our little jokes aside with this, and we're good with it. But okay, let's focus on the game, right? No, of course not. This is Matt Hansen. This rules. I am fully giddy over it. Good going, everybody. And people clicking the evil Patrick looking over someone emoji. 4 people agreeing with him.
This can't
This
be
is
real,
how
man.
a leader cultivates an extremely toxic work environment by being...
That's actually a really good point. If you see your leader doing this, it gives you validation as like a whole like group. Yeah, like you should probably tell them like, haha guys, very funny, chill out. Like, who the fuck's using the word giddy? I mean, giddy's a good word, but like, in a professional environment, when you're owning the other side, you shouldn't be making video games to own the other side. You should be making video games for everyone to enjoy. Can I just put that on the table? Like,
very negative about things that, honestly, on the whole, most gamers would say, hey, we're kind of on the side with Grumps. We kind of agree with Elon. And even if the people who don't, many people just want a good game. It's not about us versus them and this, that, the other thing. It's just make a good game at the end of the day. And it goes to show just how in their heads we are by daring to want good video games. Braceal replied with, stupid will be stupid, but I'll never get over how insane of a hill pronouns are to die on. Like, if you have to pretend it's not an effing backbone of language/grammar and then argue what, you shouldn't be able to choose what people effing call you in a role-playing game?
the reason why people are getting so upset with the pronoun shit is that it happened once with a video game. But then you start changing grammar in German, in Spanish, and in French in other video games, and you're basically warping it because you said, oh, well, you know, pronouns are fine and dandy, right? And then they push it even further and try to have gender-neutral pronouns in Spanish, which is grammatically incorrect. Cultural imperialism, yes, it's the white savior syndrome. There were so many streamers. There was like at least 2 or 3 clips of Spanish-speaking streamers who only speak Spanish, they don't speak English, who got upset when they were playing Spider-Man. They're like, wait a minute, that doesn't sound grammatically correct. That's stupid. It just didn't sound right and it wasn't good. And Spider-Man is considered a good game, by the way. It's just that taint lasts forever.
And I'm like, bro, no, that's not what pronouns are for. That's not how they work. You're using pronouns as titles, not pronouns. That's the problem. How do you not see the difference here? Well, they're a she, they, so I think that would probably explain why they're so loopy with their thinking. Matt Hansen replied, he is not a bright man. About Elon Musk. Okay, so...
I mean, I don't like a lot of shit that Elon Musk says, but having him say that he wants to provide cat girls, kinda based. Sorry. There are some things that I do agree with. I think that everybody should have cat girls. Cat girls have to become reality.
The richest man in the world, or at least one of the richest men in the entire world, who has run an electric car company, runs a social media company, runs a robotic company, an AI company, and has his hands in a lot of different areas of everything of society, and is trying to push society further, go to Mars, create SpaceX. Like, this guy has done more things this far in his life than half of humanity combined together up to this point. But yeah, sure, you can just say, Elon Musk, he's just an idiot. I just think he's really dumb. When in reality, the fact is, Matt, you are jealous of Elon Musk's success, and because it flies in the face of your ideology, you're calling him dumb. Jeremy Tedisco replied,
I don't think he's dumb. He has dumb opinions, but that doesn't make him dumb inherently.
Can luminaries have...
He makes millions of dollars and I don't. Like, how dumb am I really, in reality? Like, there's dumb people that make a lot of money, but I don't think he's that dumb.
Negative luminance values? And Peter Wano replied with, isn't that a dimwit? Which I guess now they're doing dad jokes against Elon Musk because they're all in agreement that he's not intelligent.
Aren't you guys at a time... Again, I have to assume that these are real. Aren't these guys on a time crunch? Isn't their game coming out soon? Come on, man.
But what these people are forgetting is, this is a public Slack channel that people are chatting on at Obsidian and partner networks that are in it. So people all see this. And these people are so indoctrinated with their own propaganda and ideologies that they just think everyone is in the cult with them. When in reality, they're not. And they're not accepting of this kind of approach to life. John Winnicor replied with, not too late to add a rat creature to the game and name it Elongated Muskrat. That
how would you just make a good game and don't make like stupid references that no one really gives a fuck about? Half the people in more than half, or if you have more than 100 players, less than half of the people will understand that reference. Like, just make a good game, man. No one cares, man.
Distinctly mumbles something about pronouns and drops shoddy blood-soaked emeralds when you stab it, which, I mean, I'll be...
Are we fantasizing about stabbing Elon now? Kinda weird. He's living in your head that hard.
To be honest, I'll give him credit here. It's pretty funny. Except when you consider that that's a person, and now you are putting their name on them and trying to murder them in a game and make light of it. Which, I gotta take a step back and be like, where did we go wrong here? Where did we lose our way with making the RPGs fun and having a good time with them, instead of force injecting ideologies into the game and trying to get a win just to own the chuds at the end of the day? What are we?
Another great thing about RPGs is that a lot of references and stuff that artists make into the game, children can kind of understand them. Like, I played a lot of RPGs when I was a kid, and I did not understand a lot of them, but my enjoyment was mainly from the game itself, like the gameplay, the music, the art, the graphics. It wasn't about, like, some fucking stupid reference and having it referencing Elon Musk as a rat. Like, why are you even wasting resources on this dumb shit, man? Take your pills, man!
These leaked messages from the internal Obsidian Slack reveal an environment where ideological hostility takes precedence over any sort of professional behavior. Employees are competing and taking increasingly hostile jabs at Musk, where one was even suggesting mocking him through in-game content and killing him. Then we have someone like Brianna Seal, who goes by she, they, joining in, increasing the fervor with a statement saying, "I'll never get over how insane of a hill pronouns are to die on." And of course, somebody with she, they pronouns would be saying, hey, saying pronouns aren't a big deal is not a good thing because we should be putting pronouns in everything. And if you're trying to say they shouldn't be in the game, then that's your problem and don't die on that hill. While this person is trying to die on the hill of why they're important. These people are lost.
So lost in the sauce, man. Pronouns are something that you should be thinking about adding when your game is already almost finished, like past the 50% mark, you know. Sometimes I wish I had the kind of money to like make my own game and like have people judge me and like criticize it. Like I just don't see why this is so important, genuinely. There are so many games that are amazing, made by gay people and trans people that are just like, they don't have that as the front point and center of a video game. There's so many people that are gay that make video games. It's a lot, man. But they don't put that as like the... Anyway, I'm just getting off the rails. It's giving me mental illness vibes.
In their own ideologies, thinking that the rest of the world are the crazy ones.
Yeah, activism.
Unable to look internally at their own faults. They're latching on to what is accepted, and in doing so, creating an unwelcome environment to actual developers at the company that care about the game that they're working on. And like a previous inside whistleblower told me, is not everyone at Obsidian is a bad person. In fact, many of the developers there are hardworking, good developers that care, that want these games to be great, and they're dealing with these internal pressures and struggles from people like Matt Hansen creating this environment, allowing it to flourish there. It's really as simple as that.
As a person who has to expend a lot of emotional energy dealing with interpersonal political relationships in an office environment, I can tell you with utmost certainty that you physically get tired from having to deal with this shit. Again, I don't care about these like Slack messages, but if this is real and it's not fake, and this is the kind of environment you're putting your engineers, your like artists in, dealing with it mentally instead of focusing that emotional energy on the game is exhausting. It lessens the quality of the production of your work. You can't even argue with it because it's tiring. Like, maybe you're an extrovert and you like dealing with this shit, but at the end of the day, this is a job. This isn't like you going out with the friends and bantering and laughing about owning the chuds. This is a work environment, man.
A completely different whistleblower recently reached out to me, revealing that Matt Hansen is reportedly protected by the higher-ups at not just Obsidian, but Microsoft proper, with his job being completely secure at this time.
I could believe that. There's definitely nepotism and, connections. I could believe that. Again, I don't know if this is true or not, but
despite the growing backlash and the constant toxic work environment that he himself has contributed to cultivate. And taking a step back just from hearing that information, especially considering everything else that's come to light regarding the toxic behavior and leadership styles, it makes you wonder, if the protection is indeed the case here, why is that?
Because it's a self-perpetuating cycle. They create a problem. They need to have a problem made in the game. There's not enough pronouns. Women being too sexualized is a problem in a video game. That keeps their job. They just push these agendas that aren't actually a factor in video games and in TV shows and movies. But in this case, I don't think this guy, if this is true, I don't think this guy should have a job. You're not useful to making video games. I'm sorry, you just aren't.
Seems like Microsoft themselves is in agreement with, or at least complicit in, the way Hansen is acting. And that in itself raises serious questions about the company's stance on fostering healthy, and this is what they always say, inclusivity at.
This is a really good comment. How would you feel if Russian was your entire personality, Elena? Would you proud to have that one quality? Yes, there's a lot of people who unironically think like that, and especially when it comes to their gender or sexuality. I don't see myself, if in a work environment, never saw myself in a 9-to-5. I worked in a 9-to-5 job. I never saw myself as a woman or someone who is straight or whatever. I just worked at my job. I clocked in my 9-to-5 and talked to my coworkers occasionally, right? That's the whole point. I don't care if. There are so few instances in my entire life where I actually had toxicity directed towards me for being a woman or for my nationality. It just hasn't been many, and I never felt like a victim. Maybe it happens to other people more often, or they have more anecdotal experiences because they worked for longer. But I think most people that work a 9-to-5 don't think like these people, where it's I'm gay and I need everyone at work to know that. I worked at Obsidian Entertainment. I'm the one gay guy. It's tokenism,
The workplace, when what they're doing is creating an environment of hostility and toxicity where if you are not a part of it, then you are the outcast, and ergo, you are next on the chopping block because you don't fit in with like-minded people. It's time for us to shine a big spotlight on these actions and hold leaders like Matt Hansen accountable for fostering toxicity in the workplace. Studios like Obsidian need to be places where creativity and innovation thrive, not where employees are bullied into ideological submission. Gamers deserve better.
And I know this is going to sound really extreme, but you just know if these screenshots are real, they will notice that you aren't commenting on these images, or you just know it's catty, I've talked to people like this in real life that start thinking well, they haven't talked in the group chat in a while. They haven't talked in the Slack chat in a while. So maybe this makes them uncomfortable. Hey, Peter, did you see the messages? What did you think of them? It's I didn't think anything of them. I'm just making little plant graphics or textures for the video game. I don't really have an opinion because I don't care. It's not my job. This happens all the time.
better. Developers deserve better. And most importantly, the entire video game industry on the whole deserves better. And at this rate, the only thing we can do to fight back is to just shine a spotlight on it. Air this dirty laundry out for everyone to see. And hopefully, naturally, change will happen and shift the game industry back to a better place. And I already feel like that's kind of starting, but we got a long way to go. Anyways, I've already droned on enough with this. There is a lot more information if you guys are interested in taking a deep dive. Check out smashjt.com for the full article. I will link it in the description below. If you guys appreciate what I'm doing, hit that join button. Thank you so much to this whistleblower that reached out. I know it took a very brave person to do
whistleblower,
and share these messages because I know exactly what's going to transpire now. Instead of Obsidian taking a step back and looking internally and trying to reevaluate what they're doing, they're going to start looking for who this person was and find out what happened and how this leak got out there, which is the complete wrong approach. And I hope I'm wrong about that, but I think we already know better. But hopefully, eventually, they start realizing internally that the problem is with them. Thank you guys so much for watching.
They're not going to.
You stay smashing. And it goes to show just how in the heads people are with these...
What the fuck was that? Smash! Chat, you were the problem. He's allergic to just bullshit, I guess. Oh no, it's me. I'm the problem. I'm not playing your video games because they're trash.